Like, I don't know, it doesn't excite me, the idea that corporations and this big company can just like make a lot of profit from a basic human emotion such as love. And I don't understand that, and I find it very annoying. I hate Valentine's Day. However, this year I made it my goal to be a better person and try to be understanding and less hateful. I even have this heart. You see this heart on a stick? It's on mine. I stole it from my housemate. It used to be a planned decoration, but anyway, I have this heart to understand Valentine's Day. Can I understand Valentine's Day by living Valentine's Day like Valentine, like San Valentine? Who was beheaded, by the way.
What would San Valentine say if he saw all of this? Love is in the air, so is CO2 and AC-130s. This postcard would look so much better if it had Leica as background. I see some patterns repeating in here. Perfect match in crime, like identical fingerprints. That sounds fun and safe. Pink, pink, hearts, hearts, love, love, flower, flower. Pink, pink, hearts, hearts, love, love, flower, flower. Star, star, forever, forever. Nothing says I love you better than AI images. Yeah. At some point I realized I wasn't gonna learn anything from just staring at Valentine's postcards and Valentine's gifts and Valentine's flowers and Valentine's all these things. So I asked some friends some questions, but that didn't help either. And as I said earlier, my goal for this video was to go back to the origins and understand and try to get in the minds of the people who originate this celebration and go back to San Valentine himself, obviously. But who was this guy, by the way? He was a Roman Catholic priest who was thrown into prison for his ideals. As I mentioned before, he was eventually beheaded, and I think that's a very romantic story, but nobody ever talks about this in this term, I guess. So to live the real San Valentine experience, I need to go to prison. So my next goal was to figure out how to go to prison. But not necessarily in a permanent way, but more in a like Monopoly kind of way, which sounds easy, but it's not at all. And if I was in the United States, that would be so much easier, especially these days, thanks to ICE, since they basically send them in beautiful places like Sikot, this offshore prison where a lot of YouTubers like to go and content farm horrible videos, honestly. But in Europe, it's a bit different. And unfortunately, I don't even live in the UK, where just holding a peace sign in public basically is a one-way ticket to prison. But here in the Netherlands, I have to think about it differently. I have to be a little bit more strategical, I guess. So, welcome to the Prison Museum in Den Haag. This place was actually a prison for over 400 years, and today I'm gonna take you a bit around and show you the beautiful torture tools that are still conserved in this beautiful place. But going back to San Valentine, like I said earlier, he was imprisoned and eventually beheaded because of his political/religious activities. In short, he would go around and preach the Catholic faith, which at the time was not really accepted, especially by people in power, by the Roman emperor of the time, Claudius II, also called Claudius Gothicus. What a cool name. Who was a bit sick of his presence and decided to get rid of him and stop his unwanted activity, I guess. The myth also says that while in prison, San Valentine became buddy with the prison guard and even cured the guard's daughter of blindness. Oh my god. It's this. The myth also says that before being beheaded, San Valentine sent a letter to the guard's daughter, supposedly signed Your Valentine. And that is the reason why even these days people still send cards on Valentine's Day. But we have no idea of what he actually did write in that letter, or if it was even a letter. We will never know, but I have some theories. Some people think he wrote this message on the wall of the prison and not in a paper form. But what we know for sure is that by celebrating San Valentine, we're basically celebrating his unliving, which happened on the 14th of February, 270 after Christ. That is roughly 1,756 years ago.
Trying to open the door. It's funny.
But back to Valentine's Day. It's definitely not celebrated the same way everywhere or celebrated at all. And as I said earlier at the beginning of the video, I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's so commercialized, but if there's one country that managed to make it even more capitalistic, is Japan.
This is beautiful.
They actually have the celebration divided in two separate events. One is Valentine's Day, which happens to be on the 14th of February, and the second one is White Day, which is a month later, on the 14th of March. And that makes it double the dates, double the consumerism, and double the chocolate, which I'm not a big fan of. But I am a big fan of this. You should all come visit the prison museum in Den Haag, guys. They gave me permission to film. Sweeter than chocolate. Also, another interesting thing is that gifting chocolates on Valentine's Day has nothing to do with Saint Valentine himself. It was not his favorite food, and he had nothing to do with it, and cacao was not even discovered by the time he existed.
I'm curious. Yeah? Like, I'm trying. I'm not a vlogger.
And I mean discovered in a European colonizer sense, because obviously local native people, the Aztecs, already knew about chocolate, and they used it very differently than Europeans. But the way it's intended for Valentine's Day, it's a Victorian age invention that comes from the fact that they realized the chemical properties of chocolate a long time ago, right after stealing cacao from colonies and starting growing it in other colonies, very classic European colonialism. And the chemical properties I was talking about, obviously, is the boosted libido. So essentially, they believed that chocolate would give them this incredible aphrodisiac power. Chocolate became the obsession of the European elite.
It's so funny though to have the toilet in your room, you know what I mean? That's a weird tradition. I'm happy we got rid of this.
Like, gifting chocolate was kind of like a romantic, slightly naughty luxury that rich people had, till later it became more open to other members of society. In 1868, the chocolate company Cadbury dropped the first heart-shaped chocolate box, literally a marketing strategy that they used to target rich noble lovers and sold it to them as the perfect Valentine's gift. Which, to be honest, is not even that different from another tradition I mentioned earlier, White Day, which is also the consequence of a very effective marketing strategy, just different country.
I'm shy, man. I realize that when I'm with Natalia, I'm just super hype.
Finally, we reached the torture room, what we were waiting for. Oh yeah, the good stuff. Some of them I cannot even show on YouTube. Oh yeah.
Maybe the letter that Valentine wrote to his lover, to the daughter of this guardian of the prison, maybe it was not a love letter and maybe it was a medical bill, because we don't know if it was a letter at all.
That's my theory. Maybe he was like, bitch, pay me for healing your eyes, like American style. Insurance rejected. Maybe his next plan was to say bye-bye to the United Healthcare CEO of his time. That looks very comfortable. Reminds me of an AI massage machine I saw some weeks ago on Instagram. Maybe this was the medieval version of it and now we just think of it as a torture machine, but someone enjoyed it.
Torture devices. Thank you. Oh my god.
So my conclusion after this whole journey in the prison and analyzing Saint Valentine's figure and Saint Valentine's traditions and all of these things is that I honestly think we should go to the OG Roman traditions of smacking each other with animal skins. Completely naked, no pretending, no morals. It's way more ecological if you ask me. Bye bye!